Oh, you can hear the crowd begging for a spark here. Someone's got to grab this game by the collar and shake it awake. And if he bags a brace to draw level with the big hitters, that's headline stuff, Peter. Now show us that pitch side magic.
Argentina's priced like the heavy favorite, but look at that ask wall. Sellers are stacked above the market, so upside feels like trying to score against a parked bus. The real tell is Weatherman 12 playing both sides with size. That's big money hedging inside blinks. Algeria's thin and cheap, but with that bid depth, it's the classic lottery ticket with a crowd behind it set up.
That's the cry from the stands, isn't it? Someone light the fuse and get this lot moving. And if he finds two and pulls level with the top guns, that's the kind of moment that flips a tournament on its head, Peter. You can feel the impatience. Come on, wake up. They're begging for tempo and a bit of bite. And if he nicks two to match the leading scorers, that's rocket fuel for this whole team, Peter. Suddenly everyone believes. IMO, Messi versus Ronaldo competitiveness. It's like two blue-chip giants trading blows for a decade. How do you see that kind of relentless edge translating to leadership and performance under pressure?
Totally. When you've got that blue chip rivalry, it forces earnings season intensity every match, and leaders stop managing the game and start owning the moment. Under pressure, that edge is like a striker who still takes the penalty after missing one. Process over.
That rivalry was pure electricity. Two supernovas dragging their teams over the finish line week after week, and you can still see it in Messi's eyes. He's not here for a farewell tour. He's here to win, to haul his country up the mountain again.
Argentina's still the favorite on price, but the bid depth just slipped while the ask side stays heavy. Momentum stalling like a team dominating possession with no shots on target. Algeria's asks thinned a bit, so any surprise headline could spark.
That old Barca-Madrid duel was like heavyweight boxing every weekend. No hiding, just punches thrown and legends made. And Messi's still got that edge, that give me the ball, I'll decide it hunger. He's chasing one more summit for his country, and you love to see it. Oh, they absolutely know how to make an entrance. Argentina letting the tension simmer, then Messi appears and the whole place leans forward like it's a movie premiere. And look at Luka Zidane in the mask, jaw still healing. Footballers are made of stubborn steel, aren't they?
Argentina's price is steady, but the support underneath is thinning again. Bid depth keeps leaking, so that 0.63 handle looks more like a trapdoor than a floor. Algeria's top ask just moved down to 0.1 fear with.
What a baptism of fire for him. 7 caps, new colors, and now he's staring down the world champions in a packed house. And when Messi steps out, it's like the lights get brighter. Every defender suddenly feels a yard slower. 7 caps and straight into the lion's den. Welcome to the big time, son. The stadium's buzzing. Argentina are strutting like champions. And when Messi walks out, it's that hush before the storm feeling. Anything can happen now.
Argentina's still pinned 0.63 or 0.64, but that 0.65 sell wall just got thicker. This is the market saying, prove it before we let you break higher. Draw liquidity is getting heavier on the ask side too, so the crowd's quietly paying up for chaos insurance.
7 caps, fresh allegiance, and now he's got a front row seat to the Messi show. Talk about being thrown into the deep end. The crowd's a wall of noise. Argentina look like they own the night, and the GOAT is about to light the fuse. What a moment for young Zidane. Imagine growing up watching your dad boss the biggest stages, and now you're stepping into that spotlight yourself. You can almost hear him saying, all right then, my turn, and the nerves turn into fuel. Oh, absolutely. If your surname is Zidane, pressure is basically the family tradition. He's watched his dad glide through chaos like it was a Sunday stroll, so you know he's thinking, bring it on, even if the knees are wobbling a bit.
We're still stuck in that Argentina 0.63, 0.64 grind, but bid depth keeps eroding. Support's getting tired legs late in the match. Draw asks just came in lighter, so if volatility hits, that chaos trade can reprice fast.
Enjoy your day, Mr. Zidane, because the name alone turns heads in this stadium. He's grown up watching his father handle the biggest nights, so you can bet he's itching to write his own chapter, not just live off the legend. Messi's on the scene and the temperature just jumps. Night 2 and it feels like the main event bell has rung. Every touch is going to pull the crowd like a magnet, and you can sense defenders already backing up like they've seen this movie before.
Algeria just got a little more bite. Bid depth jumped and the top bid stepped up to 0.1. That's the underdog crowd starting to press higher up the pitch. Argentina's still favored, but with that big boy 65 sell wall, upside looks like it needs a real catalyst, not just vibe. That Algeria bid support just faded fast, depth dropped, and the top bid slid back to 12-1-1, so the underdog push looks like a false start. Argentina's ask stack is easing a bit, but Swane Juan 5 is still the goalkeeper here. You're not scoring without real. Argentina's bid depth just took a noticeable hit while price stays pinned 80.63, 0.64. That's the favorite looking a bit leggy, like they're protecting a lead instead of pushing for a second goal. Algeria's spread is still now you're seeing a bit of pressure release on Argentina. Ask depth keeps coming down and that 0.65 wall is thinning, which is how breakouts get set up. The draw book is also getting lighter on the sell side, so the market's quietly pricing a little more scrappy game risk. Big momentum shift. A whale just slammed bullish Argentina, at 887K at 0.64, while draw Algeria sell side depth collapsed. Feels like crowd piling onto the favorite late. Can you frame this like a late game surge pressure sequence?
Oh, that's like the 85th minute siege. One big hitter thumps it forward, the stands smell blood, and suddenly the underdog's backline starts cracking and clearing blindly. Money's flooding the favorite like wave after wave of attacks, and the draw option's losing its shape fast.
Totally. Latina's near 900K shove into Argentina is that late game battering ram, and you can see it in the draw book. Offers evaporating, shape collapsing. Only catch is Argentina's bid depth is thinning, so if the push stalls, you get a quick snapback. Argentina's still stuck at 0.63, 0.64, but the draw's ask depth keeps draining. Market's basically taking the stalemate insurance off the shelf. Algeria's book is getting lighter on both sides, so any shock headline could move it fast, like a deflection.
That whale buy is like a 90th minute wave of pressure, one big shove, and suddenly the defense line cracks, the crowd smells blood, and everyone starts sprinting forward with the favorite. When the sell side depth vanishes, it's like Algeria's clearance legs are gone. One more attack.
Yep, and the tell is the draw market getting hollowed out. Traders are rotating from anything can happen into the favorite pure momentum play. But with Argentina still capped by that 0.65 supply, it's pressure without the finish until that wall break. We're seeing a little reset in the side markets. Algeria ask depth just ballooned and the draw book rebalanced so that earlier squeeze is cooling off. Argentina is still the favorite, but bid depth is slipping, and with that 0.65 sell wall intact, momentum's paused at mid.
That whale buy is like a 90th minute wave of pressure. One big surge that pins the opponent back, and suddenly the draw Algeria wall crumbles as everyone retreats. Markets smelling blood, piling into the favorite like a crowd roaring a late winner into existence.
I'm with you on the momentum, but right now it's more possession without the goal. Argentina's pinned ATA 0.64 with a chunky 0.65 offer stack. Meanwhile, Algeria's ask depth just refilled, so the defense has regrouped for another stand. Absolutely, that's the classic tilt. One big ticket and everyone starts chasing the move like a counterattack. But the tape says the sell side hasn't fully collapsed yet, so until that 0.65 wall gives, it's pressure with a ceiling. Argentina's still stuck 0.63, 0.64, but that 0.65 ask wall just got thicker, 2.86 M shares. So the market's basically saying, prove it before we reprice higher. Meanwhile, Algeria's 0.13 offer stack is growing too, so the upset.
That ad's got more swagger than a numbered 10 in a fresh pair of boots. The lion can't be tamed, all right then. But this unbeaten local crew since '96 playing in jeans and still cooking everyone, that's the kind of form line AMO would call blue chip unstoppable. IMO, that unbeaten since '96 local crew is being sold like a blue chip stock. Talk to me hype bubble or real moat, and Fox pitching 2026 like a takeover bid.
I'd call it a real moat with a frothy premium. Great story. But when everyone's already long, it doesn't take much bad news to trigger a sharp pullback. And that 2026 media push is pure takeover bid energy. Big narrative, big money, but priced for liquidity just drained hard across the board. Argentina ask depth down to about 858K, so any decent market order can move this like a slippery pitch. The 0.65 wall's still there, but much thinner now, which makes a quick pop more likely if buy.
That unbeaten since '96 local crew hype is pure blue chip marketing. Fox selling 2026 like a can't miss IPO. Give us the analyst take. Is this brand swagger or real value?
Yeah, it's brand swagger with some real value underneath. Great track record, but the market's already priced it like a top seed. When liquidity thins, that can't miss IPO vibe can flip fast into a nasty gap down on the first wobble.
Nights dropped like a curtain, and this place is roaring, white and blue everywhere as the champions stride out like they own the air. Argentina versus Algeria, and you've got that veteran official in the mix. You can feel the tension already, like a tight. The noise is absolutely volcanic, and look at that sea of white and blue. Argentina walking out like the kings of the night. Algeria won't care about the script, though, and with that experienced ref crew involved, every big moment's gonna feel like it's under a microscope.
Draw market just threw a weird one. Best ask still 0.24, but the top ask level showing 0.99 screams someone yanked liquidity and left a no thanks order on the book. That kind of gap is like a keeper slipping. One rush of flow and prices can lurk.
IMO, this Argentina-Algeria opener feels like a blue chip versus disruptor matchup. Stadium's a volcano, and even the ref crews under the microscope. Give us your market open take. Who's got the momentum premium tonight?
Argentina's wearing the momentum premium, price pinned AT064 with buyers still showing up, while Algeria's more like a cheap option that needs a headline to re-rate. But with thin depth, one early shock is a straight red card for complacent longs.
Big call between the sticks. Zidane's lad gets the nod, but that AFCON form has clearly shouted loud enough to earn it. And Monty 120 caps, that's a walking monument at the back. But oof, those absences in the 11, that's where the nerves creep in.
Draw just ticked up to A0825 ask, so the market's quietly paying for Argentina stumble insurance. Meanwhile, Argentina's still stuck under that 0.65 supply wall, like a top team dominating possession but not breaking the low block yet.
Zidane's son between the posts. Name heavy, but he's earned it with those AFCON performances, no doubt. Monty hitting 20 at the back, that's pure leadership. But missing stars in the lineup, that's the kind of twist that can turn a match into chaos fast. Kansas City's become a real World Cup base camp hub. World-class facilities, packed Arrowhead. Give us the economic impact angle. What does a full stadium and 4 teams setting up shop do for the local numbers?
Totally. This is a mini stimulus package with a match ball. Hotels, transport, food, and staffing get a clean demand spike, plus media and sponsor spend. The real comp is a playoff run, short, intense, and it pulls forward a lot of local revenue fast.
Argentina chasing a back-to-back like a blue chip, trying to repeat record earnings, rare since the 60s. Give us your take. How do champions handle the pressure of defending a title when every opponent treats you like the market leader?
With the book feed down, I'm watching the tape through the whales. The big Argentina longs are still planted 0.63, so sentiment hasn't cracked. But when transparency drops, spreads usually widen. Once a
Kickoff crackles, and Algeria win that early foul. Little statement of intent, isn't it? Argentina may have been cruising lately, but this is the real exam paper, and the greens are already underlining the first question in bold. Algeria come in with real bite, hard to beat, stingy at the back, and they can score in bunches too, so this isn't some ceremonial stroll for Argentina. And sure, the crowd's tilted sky blue, but a small pocket of green can make a lot of noise when the game turns. That's the question hanging in the air. Can Algeria land a Saudi-style punch and stun the champs again? Argentina's strength is that compact 4-4-2 wall, then suddenly Messi flicks the switch and it turns from lockdown to lightning in a heartbeat.
Argentina's bid depth just rebuilt to about 163K, while price holds 0.62, 0.63. That's buyers stepping back in to defend the line. Algeria ticking up to 14% still looks like a thin rally into heavy overhead supply.
Watch that midfield engine. Mac Allister and Enzo have to set the rhythm, because if they get sloppy, Algeria will pounce like a cat on a loose ball. Pekovic will be licking his lips for those counterattacks. One pass and suddenly it's a foot race to goal.
Now you're seeing the favorite get a little heavy. Argentina bid depth drops to about 113K, while ask stacks swell, so upside's getting crowded. Draw ticks up to 25%, and that's the market pricing in a scrappy, slower tempo. More mid.
It all funnels through that Argentina midfield. If Enzo and Mac Allister control it, the champs breathe easy. If not, it's chaos. Pekovic's Algeria look built for the ambush, sitting in and then exploding forward like a spring-loaded trap. You can feel how much Argentina lean on Enzo and Mac Allister. If they win those second balls, the whole machine hums. But Algeria on the break are like a sudden gust through an open door, and Pekovic will want that game stretched in a flash. Oof, that tackle had a bit of thunder in it. Algeria are snapping into duels, and you can sense they fancy the wide 1v1s. And look at Messi tracking back already, sleeves rolled up like, fine, I'll do it myself at both ends. Argentina just about wriggle out of trouble there, scrambling like it's a clearance sale in their own box. That's a little warning flare from Algeria. Keep poking and something might pop loose.
Argentina's still pinned 8 0.62, 0.63, but that 0.65 ask wall is back. 150K shares saying, not so fast. Draw bids thicken, so traders are hedging like a team parking the bus late. Protect the scoreline, don't chase.
Ramiro shapes to float it. That's the kind of ball that can turn a quiet moment into pure panic in the box. Everyone's on their toes now. One good touch and we're talking headlines.
That's pure headline risk. If VAR confirms, it's a blue chip breakout and the shorts scramble like defenders on skates. Exactly. Record chasing is like a mega cap trading under a microscope. Every tick gets audited, so players hesitate on the final pass and refs lean on process. That scrutiny can tighten risk appetite, but if the goal stands...
Oh, that little 1-2 is vintage, slick, ruthless, and Messi just rolls it home like he's signing an autograph. But the flag kills the party and the stadium goes from eruption to groan. That combination is pure silk. Martinez slips it, Messi finishes, and for a split second it feels inevitable. Then the flag goes up and it's like someone yanked the plug on the noise. Brutal timing on a landmark night. Messi just buried it, but the flag's looming, record-chasing drama. Give me your market reaction take. Does this feel like a blue-chip rally or a pump and dump if VAR wipes it? Messi looks in behind and finishes, but the flag's looming. Can you riff on record-breaking pressure like a blue-chip stock under scrutiny and what that does to a team's risk appetite? Mbappe's thrown the gauntlet down, and you just know Messi's pride doesn't need much fuel. He's got rocket boosters already. DePaul's snapping into tackles and feeding him early, trying to get that rhythm going before the record talk turns into real danger. Flag up again, and you can see it on his face. He knew it the moment he went, that little shrug of, yeah, fair enough. Tight, razor-thin stuff, but it's confirmed, and Argentina reset. Yet every time Messi drifts, the whole defense starts sweating. Up goes the flag, and Messi's already wearing that "caught me, didn't you" look. He felt it in his bones. It's tight, but the call stands, and as soon as they restart, you can sense the defenders checking their shoulders every second he's nearby.
Markets leaning harder, Argentina. Price lifts to 0.65 or 0.66, and Algeria gets sold down to 11-12 cents. That's a clear momentum shift. But look at the book. Massive ask depth everywhere, so this rally's running into a wall like a late-game press that can gas out fast.
Messi pops up again like a magician's rabbit, trying that cheeky little flick, but Inzaghi reads it and snaps it away. Now it's a foot race down the channel, and suddenly Argentina are scrambling. Can he nick in behind here?
Argentina's grinding higher again, 0.66, 0.67, and notice the ask depth just thinned a lot, so there's less overhead supply to cap the move. Algeria's bid stack is getting flimsy, which is what you see when the underdog legs start to go and the crowd stops believing.
That ball's got just a bit too much on it, and Enzo's stretching like he's trying to catch a taxi that's already pulled away. You can feel the chance evaporate, but Argentina are still prowling. One clean touch and it sparks again.
We just saw a little pullback. Argentina slips to 0.65, 0.66, and tellingly, the draw bid 80.22 is getting real support, like a team slowing the tempo to kill momentum. That's traders hedging the one weird bounce risk while the favorites still ahead on paper.
Oh, heartbreak for Algeria. Martinez gets a read on it, stands his ground, and then the flag kills the party anyway. The stadium swings instantly, Argentina fans roaring like they've scored themselves, and you can feel the momentum.
Yep, that's the blue chip getting complacent. Price for perfection, then one bad turnover, and the whole valuation gap closes in a heartbeat. Underdogs spike when the favorite stops pressing and starts protecting, like a market leader playing not to lose and getting punished.
IMO, Algeria have just stunned the defending champs. Massive upset vibes. Give us the market analogy. What's the blue chip team doing wrong when it's absolute chaos out there? 2 times the net ripples, 2 times the celebrations get yanked away like a rug. You can sense the nerves and the adrenaline mixing, and if this is the first 9 minutes, buckle up. This match has fireworks written all over it. That's the cruelest kind of offside, just a shoulder, just a lean, and suddenly a dream start turns into a sigh. But don't be fooled, this Algeria side can score in bursts, and Argentina's backline is getting a real early warning.
Argentina's getting marked down, 0.63, 0.64 now, and that's the market pricing in real upset risk after the shock moment. Algeria ticks up to 12-13 cents, but the thin bid depth says this is still a momentum trade, not full belief. Argentina's price is holding line, showing 6.3, 0.64, but the bid depth just refilled hard, buyers stepping back in after that wobble. Still, the ask walls on all three outcomes are huge, so any breakout is going to need real follow-through, not just crowd noise.
And there it is on the big screen, semi-automated offside, the cold clinical lines doing the referee's job in seconds. No room for romance, no room for debate, just geometry, breaking Algerian hearts and calming Argentine nerves. Semi-automated offside on the stadium screen, technology making instant high-stakes calls. Give us a quick take. Is this like algorithmic trading, killing the romance but boosting confidence in the system?
Totally. It's the VAR of markets. Algos strip out the gut feel drama, but they tighten the spreads and make the game more trustable. Downside is the flash crash vibe when everyone reacts to the same signal at once. Argentina's back to 0.65, 0.66, favorite reasserting control, and Algeria's bid depth just evaporated, which screams upset hype got sold. This is like the underdog's early sprint fading, the market's rotating back into the heavyweight. Absolutely. Tech is the ref with a Bloomberg terminal. It kills the argument, but it also kills the mispricing fast. The drama doesn't disappear, it just moves into the instant reaction trade. One line on a screen and the whole crowd reprices in a heartbeat. Yeah, it's a circuit breaker with a laser pointer. Stops the bad goal, but it also freezes the joy mid-sprint. Markets are the same. Cleaner outcomes, but the whipsaw comes from everyone seeing the same official signal at once.
That offside is millimeters, half a body, and the tech just slams the door. Brutal stuff. Almada undercooks it to Messi, and suddenly it's a street fight in midfield. Crunching tackle, whistle goes, and Fernandez is lucky that's only a foul with tempers bubbling.
We're seeing a tiny drift toward Algeria, up to 0.2, 0.113, while Argentina slips a tick to 0.64, 0.65, so the favorites' lead is narrowing on the tape. But the real story is still that massive ask wall overhead. Any rallies...
Itineraries stretching the pitch like elastic, teasing Montiel and forcing that cheap foul. Algeria will fancy this delivery. Shabani over it again, and after that offside drama, you can feel the stadium holding its breath for the next twist.
Now that's a cleaner book. Argentina ask depth just got cut hard, and you've got a real sell wall sitting right at 0.66. So the next move is basically, can they break that line? Algeria's top bid jumping to 0.11. Looks like bargain hunters step.
He's hugging that touchline and daring Montiel to bite, and bang, another foul, another chance to whip danger into the mixer. Shabani stands over it with that "I've been here before" swagger, and Argentina's backline is suddenly on high alert. Rolled short, cheeky little routine, and for a second you thought Haj Musa might shimmy through the crowd, but Argentina slammed the door. It ricochets, and Algeria squeeze out a corner, and that's pressure building like a kettle about to whistle.
Whoa! Argentina just got air-pocketed to 0.63, 0.64, and bid depth collapsed. That's a classic favorite loses midfield control moment. Algeria hasn't surged, but when the leader's liquidity vanishes, one sharp headline and you get a fast counterattack move.
Martiniak lets it go, and you can hear the groans. Those shielding duels are a coin toss depending on the ref's mood. Argentina won't complain about a goal kick, but Algeria will feel they've been mugged of a whistle there. No whistle again. Martiniak's basically saying, play on, lads, and that's a dangerous precedent in these shoulder-to-shoulder scraps. Algeria will be fuming because 9 times out of 10 that shielding gets called, but Argentina will happily take the escape route.
That 0.62 bid stack on Argentina is the key tell. There's a real defensive line of buyers now, so dips are getting met fast. Price hasn't lifted yet because the overhead supply is still chunky, but momentum's shifted back toward the favorite holding.
Exactly, same sliver of anatomy doing the damage, and it's brutal because the player's doing everything right except existing 1 inch too far forward. VAR loves that freeze frame, but the striker hates it with every fiber. What a sight from up here in Kansas City. 70,000 turning the place into a bouncing trampoline, voices rolling like thunder. It's got that Qatar electricity, that Copa America fever, and you can feel the game being dragged forward by the crowd's heartbeat. From this bird's eye view, it's pure goosebumps. 2/3 of 70,000 bouncing in sync, singing like they're trying to lift the roof off. It's that Qatar vibe all over again, and the same Copa America roar that turns a stadium into a living, breathing monster. Imo, this crowd talk is like market sentiment. Argentina's football is religion vibe, moves momentum like a bullish stampede. Give us your take on how emotion can swing outcomes fast, like a sudden rally or crash.
Absolutely, Leo. Emotion is the ultras in the stands. One chant and the whole market presses forward, spreads tighten, and late money piles in. But when liquidity's thin, that same passion flips into a rout. One bad touch, and it's a straight red fat.
Absolutely. This team doesn't just arrive, it takes over the zip code, and Kansas City's been buzzing since sunrise. That coffee queue in the lobby was like a set-piece scrum. Elbows out, no prisoners, everyone desperate for a taste of match day. Imo, this Messi mania is like a blue and white takeover. 99.9% wearing number 10. Any quick take on the Messi effect as a brand market force while Algeria try to steady themselves after that disallowed lead?
Totally, Leo. The Messi effect is basically a mega cap halo. It compresses risk premium and keeps Argentina bid even when the tape gets messy. Algeria can steady, but they're trading against a brand with endless dip buyers, like trying to defend a one-goal lead with 10.
Imo, Casey's flooded with Messi number 10 shirts. Blue and white everywhere. Algeria thought they'd scored and it's been chalked off. It feels like a market rally that gets halted. How do you see teams reacting after that kind of emotional whiplash?
Yeah, Leo, that's a classic halt and reverse moment. Adrenaline spikes, then reality hits, and you either tilt or reset. The disciplined side tightens shape and waits for the next clean chance. The rattled side overcommits and leaves bang! This is the breakout candle everyone was waiting for, pure momentum ignition. You'll see Argentina get slammed higher as short scramble and late buyers chase, while Algeria and the draw gap down like they just conceded on the counter.
That's the chess match right there. DePaul tucking in, Messi drifting, Martinez pinning, and Algeria's shape starts wobbling like a table with one short leg. When Argentina get those rotations humming, it's 1-2 touch football, and suddenly someone...
Algeria's getting offered hard, ass depth swelled, and that 120 cap looks heavy, so any pop is meeting immediate supply. The draw market's even more lopsided with a wall of sellers, while Argentina stays pinned 8.63 0.64 like...
Messi's just done it again. Turn, pick his spot, goal, and history. Crowd's a sea of blue and white. Give me the market reaction to a moment like that. Instant surge, right? Imo, Messi just silenced the age and MLS chatter with pure magic. Give me your best. Messi shifts it onto that left like he's opening a door with a skeleton key. Bang, top corner, and the net barely has time to breathe. Keeper gets a fingertip, but it's like trying to stop a comet with a glove. History keeps chasing him, and he keeps outrunning it.
That's blue chip behavior, Leo. When the narrative turns bearish, the superstar prints earnings anyway and the multiple re-rates on the spot. Late cycle surges fade fast. This felt like quality asserting itself, and the crowd's now all in.
Imo, Messi just did it again. After all the MLS age chatter, he turns and buries it like a blue chip stock in a crash. Give me your market analogy. Is betting against him like shorting the GOAT?
Absolutely. Fading Messi is like shorting the index because you don't like valuations. You can be right on the story and still get carried out on momentum. The GOAT premium is real, and it forces constant buy to cover when he delivers.
Exactly. This isn't Messi dragging passengers anymore. It's a full machine built to launch him at the right moment. When the unit clicks, he's the final spark, and suddenly the whole stadium feels that familiar uh-oh in the air. Messi hits 14 World Cup goals, record chasing like a blue chip compounding over time. Give us a quick market analogy on longevity and breaking records.
Yeah, Leo, that's compounding in real time. Years of small edges turning into a monster total return. Records break when consistency meets big game liquidity. He's basically the dividend aristocrat who still drops growth stock numbers.
14 World Cup goals. He's climbing that mountain with a grin, and Close can hear the footsteps now. 5 straight games on the score sheet, too. That's not form, that's a habit. The man's turning the World Cup into his personal diary, and every page has fireworks. These record-chasing numbers feel like blue-chip momentum. Mbappe closing on Close. 5 straight World Cup games scoring. Give us your market-style take. Is this a breakout run or sustainable trend under pressure?
I'm with you. This looks like a real breakout, not a one-week meme rally, because the fundamentals are repeatable: pace, volume of chances, and nerves of steel. Under pressure, the best names get more touches, like winners attracting flows.
Oh, that one just won't sit down. Belgali tries to tame it on the byline, and it skids away. Pressure valve released with the goal kick. And look who's wandered into the spotlight. Infantino hovering like a VIP cameo, while the football keeps refusing to wait for anyone. 118 caps. That's not a career. That's a whole era stitched into one shirt. You hit numbers like that and you're not just a player anymore. You're part of the stadium furniture in the best possible way. Even 200 starts sounding less like a stat and more like a... 118 caps is pure mileage, boots worn down, lungs burned, and still turning up like it's day one. When you've got World Cup winners in the stands nodding along, you know you've joined the club of immortals. 200 internationals, that's basically a second life. That's Messi in a nutshell. Club calendar screaming, airports piling up, and he still treats the Argentina shirt like a sacred promise. You can almost hear him telling Scaloni, "Don't you dare wrap me in cotton wool," because pride like that doesn't take nights off. That's the captain's code right there. No special treatment, no whispers, just let the lads hear it together. He plays it cool, but everyone in the stadium knows he wasn't missing number 6 unless the football gods physically locked the door. Scaloni must have been smiling through the That's leadership with a velvet glove. He waits, he shares the moment with the group. No diva theatrics, but come on, we all knew he'd show up like sunrise. You don't chase a 6th World Cup chapter and just maybe it. Scaloni's probably thinking, he's in, now let's Scaloni says he won't decide without Messi's input. This coach-star equilibrium is like governance in a blue-chip firm. How do you see that balance, empowering the superstar without letting the boardroom lose control?
Totally best-run companies let the franchise player steer product decisions, but the coach still owns risk management and substitutions. You empower the alpha without handing over the keys, or you end up with a one-man trade that blows up.
Argentina are snapping into those duels like magnets. Everyone's got a dance partner, and it's tight, it's aggressive. But watch the handoffs. If a runner drags you too far, you pass him on and keep the block intact. No panic, no gaps. That's discipline with a bit of bite. Messi linking with his Miami teammate for the assist. Feels like instant chemistry paying dividends. Give us your investment thesis on club connections translating to national teams under pressure.
Yeah, that's synergy you can actually underwrite. Pre-built timing cuts execution risk when the game gets tight. It's like 2 companies with a proven supply chain. Under stress, the cleanest handoffs win and the market rewards it fast.
DePaul finally gets his World Cup receipt stamped. About time, and what a moment to pick. Bodyguard is right. He's the guy who clears the hallway and then sneaks in with the key pass. Miami chemistry paying dividends under the brightest lights. DePaul gets his first World Cup contribution, and it feels like a door swinging open. He's not just muscle, he's a heartbeat in midfield. Call him Messi's bodyguard if you want, but he's also the guy who pops up with the crucial touch when it matters. McAllister trying to knit it with Messi, and it just squirts loose. Algeria pounce like they've smelled blood. That little bobble is all it takes at this level. One snap of a boot, and suddenly Argentina have to reset fast. McAllister's chasing it like it owes him money. Brilliant graft to keep the move alive. Those are the moments that don't make the highlight reel but keep Argentina ticking, and you can feel the tempo trying to rise again.
This book is screaming one-way traffic. Argentina's priced like the heavy favorite 82%, and the big money piled in earlier around 0.630, 0.64, so they're sitting on a nice cushion. The risk is that Algeria and the draw have massive...
And the crowd in Kansas City is bouncing as Messi gets it back. Here we go. One touch, head up. You can almost hear the defenders gulping as he shapes to slip through that tiniest crack. Almada feeds Messi and the cross just sails a bit long. Martinez can't quite attack it, and that's a let-off. Now Algeria are trying to breathe with the ball, but Argentina are hovering like sharks, ready to snap it back. Algeria tried to play out, and Argentina just mugged them for it. Relentless, like a pack closing in the second the ball's loose. That's the beauty of this side. They can be artists with it, then turn into street fighters without blinking. Argentina's press is like a hostile takeover. Win it back instantly in the final third. Any market analogy for that kind of relentless pressure and flexibility?
Absolutely. It's like an activist fund forcing a repricing, constant pressure, no time for management to reset, and suddenly the whole cap table shifts. And the flexibility is key. When one lane closes, they rotate and attack another, like smart order.
Messi's put Argentina
That's a classic catalyst. One print. Yep. One goal is like a surprise earnings beat. Momentum traders pile in, and the underdog's risk premium spikes instantly. With the lead, Argentina can de-risk and play percentages, while Algeria has to lever up and chase, opening themselves to...
Messi puts Argentina 1-0 up. Clinical finish. Give us a quick market reaction analogy. Momentum, pressure, and how a lead changes risk-taking. Martinez back on it, and you can't help but glance at that right hand. Every catch is a little question mark, isn't it? If Argentina can keep this pressure cooker going upfield, he won't have to be a hero. Just a safe pair of hands, even if it's a sore one. Whoa, we've drifted into lullaby territory here. Someone's changed the channel mid-match. IMO, mate, is this the market putting us to sleep, or have we just signed up for neighborly neighbor of beauty on halftime entertainment?
Argentina's still pinned around 2081 and 0.82, but that giant sell wall A2082 says late buyers are running into supply, more take profit than fresh conviction. Algeria's bid depth jumped at 0.04, so the long shot crowd is nibbling cheap optionality like...
We've got storm coming in vibes. Give us a quick market metaphor. Are we talking volatility rolling over the pitch or what?
Yeah, that's volatility clustering, like a calm tape right before a CPI print, then one headline and spreads blow out. Weather turns the match into a liquidity event. Sloppy touches, random bounces, and suddenly the underdog's tail risk gets priced up. Argentina's bid stack just thickened 0.80, 0.81, so dips are getting bought like a blue chip on a red candle, but that 0.82 offer is still the brick wall overhead. Algeria's asks are pulling back a bit, yet it's still a tiny probability trade. More punt.
IMO, we've got storm coming in and someone calling for Frankie. Feels like the feed's gone cinematic. Any chance this is a market metaphor or just our broadcast getting hit by weather?
Bit of both. When the weather turns, it's like a sudden volatility regime shift and everyone starts trading the narrative, not the fundamentals. And the bring on Frankie chatter is pure crowd psychology. Once the stadium believes, even a 5% long shot gets a bid.
You can feel the thunder in that line, like a stadium holding its breath before the big moment. Not by luck, not by chaos, by sheer will, by one heartbeat dragging the rest along. That's the spirit of the game right there. Sweat, setbacks, and then the comeback when the lights are brightest. Not by chance, by choice, by one moment of courage that flips the whole story. IMO, Ronaldo's 6th and final World Cup, legacy on the line. Give me the blue chip versus moonshot take. Is this Portugal a safe dividend play or a high volatility bet against DR Congo?
I hear you. Portugal with Ronaldo is the blue chip, brand depth, and a higher floor, like a dividend payer that usually shows up. But legacy games add leverage. One bad bounce, and it trades like a momentum stock, while DR Congo is the pure moonshot with fat...
IMO, that Powerade legacy pitch is pure brand equity. How do sponsors price a Ronaldo farewell World Cup, and what does that do to ad rates and viewership forecasts?
Exactly. Sponsors price it like an expiring call option on attention. You pay up for the farewell narrative because it spikes reach and recall. That lifts ad rates and tightens inventory, but forecasts get fragile. One early exit and the premium evaporates fast.
IMO, they're hyping Ronaldo's final World Cup like a blue chip at peak valuation, legacy on the line. Give me the market angle. Is this the ultimate sell the news moment, or does the brand still have upside?
Totally. This has price to perfection written all over it, so the default risk is sell the news if the first match looks ordinary. But if he delivers a signature moment, the brand gets a fresh re-rating. Momentum traders pile in like a late winner in stoppage time.
Algeria are locked in at the back. You can see the frustration building. Kansas City's air feels heavy with that "how do we crack this" tension. And that disallowed opener, oh, it stings. Millimeters and dreams, that's the World Cup for you. Algeria are defending like a bank vault right now. Every lane shut, every second ball snapped up, and the attackers are starting to look for answers. That early goal getting wiped out by a razor-thin offside, that's the kind of moment that can rattle you or light a fire. Algeria have turned this into a chess match. 5 conceded in 15 tells you they live for these tight, ugly battles. Soumani's marshalling it like a veteran conductor, and that early offside heartbreak is still hanging in the air like a bad smell. That semi-automated offside has iced the moment, and you can feel Algeria's rhythm just evaporate. Possession numbers lie when the ball's been stuck in your half for ages, but nick it clean and break, and suddenly the whole stadium tilts. One counter can flip this script in a heart.
This book's gotten weird. Algeria's bid depth just evaporated while the ask side is a skyscraper, so that 3-4 cent price is basically no liquidity, no love. Argentina's still pinned draw saucy 8-1 0.82, but with
this pitch is slick like a billiard table, but with that sneaky little crown. One pass can skid, one touch can run away, and suddenly you're chasing shadows. Argentina love it though, zipping it around like they've got remote controls on their boots. You can see that subtle slope, nothing dramatic, but enough to make a pass drift and a defender panic for half a second. Argentina are treating it like their own training ground, popping it around with that crisp one more rhythm. Martinez sniffing around, and suddenly it's chaos in the box. One tangle of legs and it's nearly curtains. Algeria have to get braver higher up the pitch because safe sideways stuff just feeds Argentina's press like throwing meat to lions.
Algeria ticks up to 4%, but it's still a mirage. Bid depth is pocket change versus that massive sell wall, so any upset trade gets smothered fast. Argentina is still glued at 0.81, 0.82, yet the bid stack is thinning.
That's the lane. Get it wide and get it early because the middle is locked up like a bank vault. Iknouri was just about to spark something, and then, whoops, ball's gone, momentum leaks away with it. Argentina are squeezing the gap so tight you could barely slide a postcard through there. Algeria's best hope is still the wings. Get Iknouri higher, isolate his man, and then that touch betrays them. Out it goes, and the crowd groans. IMO, they're flashing 18 million viewers. Massive number. From your side, what does that kind of audience do for ad rates and the business around these broadcasts?
Yeah, 18 million is Super Bowl light territory. Suddenly, every 30-second slot trades at a scarcity premium. It also juices the whole ecosystem. Sponsors pay up for guaranteed reach, and networks get real leverage on make goods and future rights talks.
IMO, they're flashing 18 million viewers on the broadcast. Massive audience. From your angle, what does that kind of number do for ad rates and the network's bottom line?
Absolutely. 18 million turns the ad market into a bidding war, so CPMs jump and the last-minute inventory gets priced like playoff tickets. For the networks, it's margin fuel, stronger upfront pricing, better affiliate leverage, and a cleaner story for the next rights.
Almada's taken a cruncher there, and you can feel the tempo dip for a heartbeat before Argentina try to spin it wide. Kuna Medina charges the flank, but he's shepherded into a cul-de-sac. And listen, 18 million watching and Kansas City booming. Football's not...
Algeria liquidity just fell off a cliff. Best bid down at a penny and barely $2,000 of support. So that 4% is basically hope and vibes against a giant sell wall. Argentina still holds 0.81, 82.
They're talking about Messi's offside mind games. Starts beyond the line, defenders panic, then he snaps back on and the combos ignite. Any market style analogy for that kind of pressure and hesitation?
Totally. Messi's like a trader flashing size to force a tell. Defenders widen the spread, hesitate, and suddenly the real move hits when he steps back on side. It's stop hunting without touching the ball, and the crowd psychology does the rest.
Those little 1-2s are like pinball in a phone booth. Blink and you're chasing shadows, and Messi's burst off the ball, that sudden zip. It's unfair at this level. You can see the frustration bubbling at the ref, but you can't lose your head here. Messi's making sure the referee's seen that little nibble. He's got that "I felt it and you'll hear about it" look. The danger is it fires him up because when Messi gets annoyed, the next touch usually comes with thunder.
Now we've got Algeria's spread collapsing to 0.03, 0.03, but don't get cute. That's just a tiny bid stack trying to look brave in front of a skyscraper of asks. Argentina's nudging up to 0.82, 0.83 with real size on both sides.
Mazza's trying to find that little pocket of oxygen, but McAllister's glued to him like a shadow at noon. No room, no rhythm, no touches. If Algeria want to spark, he's got to wriggle free or drag Mac out of position somehow.
Algeria's price is pinned at 3 cents, but the book is screaming no real support in 4 grand of bids versus nearly 800K of offers, so any sell pressure and it's a trapdoor. Argentina's back to a tight 0.810.
Mazzadona, they call him. Big nickname, but he's got to earn it with the ball at his feet. Almada's barking at the flag, but Argentina don't wait for the debate. They snap it back instantly and keep the pressure cooking. That's a lung buster up the line. Pure willpower until the legs finally say no more. And now Belayli's trying to flip the script with a quick 1-2. Algeria sniffing a counter like a striker smelling blood. Argentina looks so calm on the ball, but you can feel that Saudi Arabia scar still sitting in the back of their minds, like a ghost in the stadium lights. That's why every throw, every tackle, they treat it like it's a final. Argentina looks so assured, but there's a little haunting in there. Saudi Arabia still whispering in their ear every time the ball goes loose. That's why they play like accountants with a lead. Tidy, ruthless, no silly risks. IMO Argentina are that score first, close the books kind of side. Once they're ahead, it's like a blue chip stock trend. How do you see that mentality affecting Algeria's risk-taking if they concede?
Yeah, once Argentina go up, the market treats it like a defensive blue chip. Volatility drops for them and spikes for everyone else. Algeria would be forced into all-out press mode, basically levering up for a comeback, and that's when counters become the margin call.
Messi's looking for that little pocket, but it sails over him. Rare sight that. Enzo's got the metronome ticking. Medina overlaps and then slices it inside. And suddenly it's pinball in the box, bodies flying, nobody quite able to claim it. Cleared away, but that's the warning flare. Argentina can look like a fortress and then bang, a crack appears when you least expect it. Those blown leads still linger, so even 82-yo, you can hear the nerves rustling in the stands. Montiel hacks it clear, but you're right. Argentina have had those moments where a comfy lead turns into a horror movie. They're brilliant front runners, yet there's always that little wobble that invites chaos back into the game. Montiel gets it out, but that clearance feels like a deep breath after a scare. This Argentina side can purr for 70 minutes, then suddenly the steering goes loose. Those 2-goal wobbles don't just vanish, they haunt you.
Algeria ticks up to 4 cents, but it's still a penny stock with a massive overhang. Nearly 700K on the offer side, says rallies are getting sold. Argentina holding 0.82, 0.83 with 83.
That one-on-one defending is where tournaments bite you. One mistimed step, one cheap foul, and the whole stadium holds its breath. And you're dead right. Lifting this trophy is like climbing Everest in boots. Only a handful have ever made it to the top. He's left on an island 1v1, and he panics into the foul. Those are the little gifts that decide big nights. And that's exactly why only 8 nations have ever worn that crown. The margins are razor thin, and the pressure is a vice.
Algeria's still stuck at 4 cents, and the bid depth actually thins. This is one bad touch away from the crowd heading for the exits. Argentina's price is steady, but that chunky ask wall up 8095 tells you sellers are waiting to fade any late.
One-on-one, no cover, and he clips him, silly foul, and suddenly the danger meter spikes. That's World Cup football in a nutshell. It's a private club since 1930, and the bouncers are pressure, luck, and ruthless finishing.
Algeria's bid depth just fell off a cliff. $750 of support is basically a paper shield, so that 0.04 print is cosmetic. Argentina stays firm, 80.82, 0.83, and with draw liquidity drying up too.
Zinedine in the house in Kansas City. What a name to drop into the night. Pure World Cup royalty with Algerian roots. And Lucas barely had time to warm the gloves. One look, one punch. Now Martinez comes flying again, but he's overcooked the final touch. Kansas City's got a VIP tonight. Zinedine in the building, World Cup gold in his veins, and Algerian roots pulling at the heartstrings. But Luka's living a nightmare start, and Martinez nearly pounces again. Just too much on it. That touch runs away. That cross was begging for a finish. Ramato's sniffing it, but it just won't sit up. And look at the suits and legends in the seats. Kempe's in the building, President watching. IMO, treadmill battle. Mario wins on aura alone, mate. Mazik on the ball now, trying to light the fuse for Algeria. Come on, give him runners, give him options. But Medina coughs it up out wide, and suddenly Martinez is sniffing blood. And that United man, rusty legs or not, slides in like a closing door. Oh, tomorrow's a football feast. Ronaldo strutting in first and DR Congo back on the big stage. That's a storyline with fireworks written all over it. Then Kane versus Modric. That's power against poetry, and I'm clearing my schedule.
That Algeria spread widening to 0.04 with barely a grand of bids is the definition of illiquid panic. One decent sell and it's straight through the floor. Argentina nudges up to 0.83 and 0.84 and bid depth jumps. So the crowd's still piling into the face.
And that's the beauty of it. By tomorrow night, everyone's shown their hand in this World Cup poker game. Messi cushions it like it's glued to his boot, and Enzo's shimmying, teasing Bilali, trying to open a door that just won't stay shut. By tomorrow night, every nation's finally stepped into the spotlight. No hiding, no excuses. Messi just kills that pass dead on the flank, and Enzo's throwing in the little samba steps, trying to shake Bilali loose. Crowd can feel something brewing. Messi tries to recycle it, but it's hacked clear. No romance, just survival. Mondi's sharp to the second ball. Almada nips in, and then the flag goes up to kill the buzz. Argentina will feel that one slipping away. Messi keeps the pressure ticking over, but the defense boots it out like a fire drill. Mondi's quickest to the rebound. Almada tries to pounce, and then, the assistant's flag slices it all offside. Momentum halted.
Algeria tightening to 0.03 on both sides looks nice on the scoreboard, but with only about 1.5k of bids, it's still a hollow market. One shove and it tips over. Argentina's book is thicker, and that 0.85 ass stack is the next resistance, like a backline.
Messi keeps it moving, but the clearance comes in like a sledgehammer. Get it out, no questions asked. Mondi reacts first to the loose one. Almada thinks he's in, and then that offside flag pops up like a party pooper.
Not much price movement, but the story's in the plumbing. Algeria's bids are still tiny, while the sell side remains a mountain. So any upset trade is basically a lottery ticket with no exit. Argentina's absolutely, Leo. That's the kind of earnings beat where the tape gaps before anyone can refresh their quotes. Momentum flips fast. Shorts scramble to cover, late buyers chase, and liquidity vanishes like defenders ball watching in the box.
Messi bends one into the corner. Keeper gets
Nailed it, Leo. When a shot like that goes in, even with contact, it's pure sentiment break. Markets read it as the favorite's inevitable, spreads widen, underdog bids evaporate, and everyone crowds the same trade like a counterattack.
Messi bends one into the corner. Keeper gets two hands, but it still sneaks in. That's a blue chip finish under zero pressure. Give me your market reaction take on a goal like that and the momentum swing. DePaul with a surgeon's blade of a pass. One split, and suddenly the whole backline's wobbling on jelly legs. Messi's charging at them with options either side. Fullbacks frozen like they've seen a ghost, and you just know he's about to pick his moment. Montiel reads it early and nicks it, brilliantly alert, and suddenly it's Messi turning defense into fireworks. Bentaleb tries to throw the brakes on. They work it out to Almada, and he leans back, sends it into the cheap seats. That's the let-off.
We're seeing a little risk-off creep. Argentina still 8-3, 8-4, but bid depth just thinned hard, so buyers aren't as eager to chase at these highs. Draw ticks up to 0.14, 0.15 with a fatter top bid. Classic late-game hedging while
Montiel switched on, sweeps it clean, and bang, Messi's got the afterburners on the counter. Bentaleb's backpedaling, Enzo links it, they slide it wide to Almada, and he skies it. That one's heading for the souvenir hunters. Bentaleb's done the dirty work there. Just enough contact to take the sting out of Messi's burst. Otherwise, that's panic stations. They recycle it, Almada cuts in on the stronger foot and leans back, and it sails. Still, you can feel Argentina starting to turn the screw. Bentaleb's bought his team a breath there, just clipping Messi's rhythm before it turns into a full-blown emergency. The ball swings left, Almada does that classic cut in to whip it, and it balloons over. Only the second attempt, but the warning lights are flashing. And that tells you everything. Argentina have been knocking, but the doors barely opened in terms of clean looks. One wiped out by the flag, and now you're into that nervy stretch before the break where one moment of magic can flip the whole script. That's the story so far. Hardly any clear sights of goal, and even the one that hit the net gets chalked off by the flag. We're deep into the half now, and you can feel the tension building like a kettle about to whistle. That little nudge at the last heartbeat can ruin a finish, but credit where it's due. He wins the header and keeps them alive. 2 shots each, and yet Algeria lead. That's football's cruel comedy. Now, can they actually turn and run, or are they just hanging on? Lovely little spell from Algeria there. Xabi with the shimmy, skips past one, and suddenly the crowd wakes up. The cross doesn't find its man, but that's the kind of territory and tempo that says we're not just here to suffer.
Argentina just slipped a tick to 0.82, 0.83, but the bigger tell is liquidity. Bids and asks are basically balanced now, so this is more two-way trade than pure steamroll. Algeria is still a thinly bid long shot, while draw demand stays sticky.
That's the pattern Algeria want. Nouri stretching it wide, Xabi sneaking inside to load up that right foot. He's just reaching, McAllister breathing down his neck, and the shot lifts into the night. Close, but not close enough.
Whoa, Argentina's bid depth just collapsed from the mid 200Ks to about 45K while the price barely budged, and that's a classic thin ice favorite. One sharp headline and this can gap like a defense caught on a high line. Algeria ticking up to 4.
Algeria are pulling Argentina all over the shop. Your striker parked out wide, and suddenly there's a lane to the byline. Xabi tries to be cheeky, looking to Nick Martinez at the near post, but Emmy's too sharp for that trick.
And just like that, Argentina's bid depth refills back above 220K. Buyer stepped back in and stabilized the line at 0.82, 0.83. Still, that heavy ass stack overhead says upside is a grind, not a sprint. More possession football.
Xabi's got that spark now. Every touch feels like it might light a fuse, and Argentina are suddenly having to backpedal. With Amura and the old fox Riamares waiting, Algeria have bullets on the bench, and here comes Nouri bursting through, danger bells ringing. Algeria's bench looks like options pricing. Amura and Riamares as late-game catalysts. If they come on, momentum could swing fast. Any quick analogy on impact subs as market catalysts?
Totally. Impact subs are your surprise CPI print. Nothing happens, then the whole book reprices in 2 minutes. When fresh legs hit, liquidity vanishes, spreads jump, and the favorite suddenly looks like it's defending a 1-goal. Argentina's leaking a bit, down to 0.81, 0.82, and the draw's creeping up to 0.15, 0.16. So the market's pricing more stuck game risk. Bid depth is there, but that big ask wall overhead is like Algeria parking the bus. Hard.
Mazza's starting to swagger a bit now. Those are the touches of a kid who's realizing he belongs on this stage. And Almada, fair play, doing the dirty work, clipping the danger before it turns into something nasty. Mazza's growing into it. You can see the confidence rising with every involvement. Suddenly he's asking questions of Argentina, but Almada tracks back and puts in a proper shift, knocks the rhythm out of it just in time.
Market's basically holding formation here. Argentina stuck at 0.81, 0.82 with decent bid support, but that thick offer stack keeps capping any rally. Draw staying firm, ATZ 5.16 is the tell. Traders are still hedging for a grindy low.
Mazza's got that I'm not just here to make up the numbers energy now. Each touch a little braver than the last, but Almada reads it early, gets stuck in, and suddenly Algeria's momentum hits a speed bump. Martinez snaps onto that loose ball like a striker smelling dinner. Argentina just don't panic in these moments. They'll let you huff and puff, soak it up, and then bang, one clean break and you're chasing shadows again. Algeria are growing into it, but Messi's brilliance still the difference. Feels like a market where one blue chip move keeps the index up despite pressure. Any quick analogy on riding defensive waves and sudden breakaways?
Exactly. Argentina's trading like a mega cap index. It can look heavy all half, then one messy earnings beat rips the tape higher. Algeria's pressure is the steady sell program, but one clean breakaway is a stop run and instant repricing. Argentina ticks up to 82%, and you can see buyers stepping back in. Bid depth rebounds while the price holds 0.81, 0.82. Classic dip got bought. Algeria's still a long shot at 4%, but with that tiny bid stack.
Marciniak waves it on, and the Argentine bench is absolutely boiling. Those are the moments that can flip a match in a heartbeat. Algeria are suddenly zipping it around with real belief, and that deflection nearly turns into chaos in the box.
Draw probability slips to 15%, and more importantly, the draw ask wall comes down a bit. Less overhead supply there, so hedgers aren't as aggressive. Argentina still pinned 82.81 to 0.82 though, until that 0.83 offer clears its possession football.
That tactical foul, classic take the loss now to avoid the big crash moment. Give us your market analogy. When do you accept a small hit to stop a full-blown breakdown?
Spot on. That's the trader's stop loss in cleats. You eat a small controlled loss to avoid getting rinsed on the break. The key is predefining the line in the sand. In-game improvisation is how small fouls turn into red cards.
That's a textbook tactical foul, stopping a breakaway like halting a market rally with a circuit breaker. Quick take. In your world, when do you take the yellow to protect the bigger position?
Exactly. Sometimes you take the yellow by trimming risk into strength or paying up for a hedge when momentum's getting frothy. It stings in the moment, but it keeps you in the tournament when the next headline turns a clean rally into a 2-goal swing.
Refs letting a lot go. No yellows despite a blatant tactical foul. Benches fuming. Feels like market volatility. One whistle or VAR moment could swing momentum. Give us your take on managing risk when the official sets a loose standard.
Yeah, when the ref's loose, the market's basically running with wider spreads. Expect sudden spikes and don't over-leverage the calm. You manage it by sizing down and waiting for confirmation because one VAR policy change can flip sentiment in a heartbeat.
Ha! Even in the middle of all that tension, we get a thanks, Dad cameo. Football's never just football, is it? Now, back to business. That dead ball had a whiff of danger, and you can feel the stadium holding its breath for the second half.
Argentina's still the heavy favorite on price, but look at that massive sell wall at 0.82. Over 2.2 ms on the ask side is real resistance. Meanwhile, the draw has serious bid support at 0.14, so the market's quietly paying for this.
IMO, you're diversifying the portfolio into beverages now. Michelob Ultra getting more airtime than some fullbacks. But hey, if it keeps the nerves steady, pour it up because this match is bubbling like a shaken can. IMO, you're hedging with hops. Michelob Ultra as the safe haven asset tonight. Just don't call it another football on my broadcast, mate, or I'll book you for dissent.
Now you're seeing real support step up for Argentina, 0.80, nearly 500,000 shares, so dips are getting bought like a top team killing the counter early. But that 0.82 ask stack is still a brick wall. Until it's chewed through, upside is capped and chop rules.
IMO, they're talking cultural mashups, salsa, jiu-jitsu. Give us a quick globalization is the ultimate merger angle, like markets blending styles while I keep it on the football pulse.
Totally. Globalization's the mega merger where playbooks cross borders, and the winners are the hybrids that steal the best moves and scale them fast. Markets reward that remix, but when everyone copies the same strategy, correlations spike, and the whole...
IMO, they're talking cultural mashups of salsa, jiu-jitsu, global fusion. Give us a quick market style angle. World Cup 2026 as a globalization trade and what that means for sponsors' brands.
Yeah, 2026 is the globalization trade in cleats. 3 countries, 1 giant audience, and sponsors get a bigger funnel with more touch points. The upside is brand scale and pricing power. The risk is clutter, where only the messy level logos actually get remembered.
IMO, that 48-nation World Cup line is pure globalization. Give me a quick market style take. Is this expansion like adding liquidity or just more volatility? IMO, that whole cultures collide and create magic monologue is pure World Cup energy. Give me your market take. Is the 48-team expansion like adding new sectors to an index, more volatility, or more opportunity?
Absolutely. Adding teams is like adding new sectors to an index. You broaden the opportunity set and create fresh winners the market can't price well yet. Near-term, dispersion and headline volatility jump, but long-term, it deepens the World Cup.
IMO, the Duracell Messi ad is pure brand power. Give us the market angle. What does a global icon like Messi do to a sponsor's valuation and reach during a 48-team World Cup? That's a proper World Cup trailer vibe. Cultures colliding and then boom, football as the final remix. And Messi as the Duracell ghost is cheeky. If he's got a power boost, defenders better bring a spare set of legs. Come on.
Argentina's price is pinned again. 0.82 is a massive supply shelf, and it's actually getting heavier, so Bulls are winning possession but not getting shots on goal. Algeria's still a 4-cent flyer, but that lopsided ass depth screams no one believes unless chaos hits.
Power boost, yeah, like flicking a switch in the 88th minute when everyone else is running on fumes. That's when the greats suddenly glide, the legs wake up, and the stadium volume doubles in a heartbeat. IMO, they keep shouting power boost like it's a late game surge. Give us the market version. What's the battery stock of football, the thing that suddenly kicks in and changes everything?
Yeah, that power boost is your liquidity injection. One big whale order or a surprise team news headline that flips the tape in seconds. It's like fresh legs at 70 minutes, spreads tighten, momentum traders press, and suddenly the underdog has a breakaway.
17 minutes in and Argentina strike first. Kansas City's rocking and you can feel that sky blue wave rolling forward. Algeria have to steady the ship now because one more wobble and this turns into a storm.
Argentina's still stuck at that 0.81, 0.82 choke point, but the key tell is the 0.82 sell wall just thinned, less supply overhead, so a clean push higher is more realistic. Draw liquidity is getting heavier on the ask side.
IMO, they're name-dropping Inter Miami and MLS like it's a global blue chip. Give me a quick market impact take on Messi brand value and the league's growth while Argentina go 1-0 up.
Yep, Messi is MLS's blue chip catalyst. He pulls in sponsors, subscriptions, and global eyeballs, and that re-rates the whole league's multiple, even if the on-field product's still catching up. With Argentina 1-0 up, it's the same momentum trade.
Messi's doing that magician stroll. Looks harmless, but he's scanning like a hawk, setting the trap. Defenders relax for half a second and bang, he's already found the pocket where dreams go to die. He's on that slow walk like he's heading for a coffee, but his eyes are doing the sprinting, measuring angles, counting shirts, sniffing space. Then he pounces, and suddenly the defenders look like they've lost their keys in their own box.
Argentina bids just got a little thicker, but price still can't clear that 82 wall. Classic all possession, no finish until someone lifts the offer. Draw ask depth collapsed, so the market's fading the stalemate risk and leaning into Argentina protecting the lead.
That's the chess match right there. Argentina go man-to-man, but if Algeria slip that first press, suddenly there's daylight and a free runner arriving like a late train. This isn't over at all. One clean break and we're talking about a very different mood in Kansas City. IMO, Algeria breaking man-to-man press feels like finding undervalued space. What's your quick take on exploiting opportunities like a market inefficiency?
Exactly. When a press gets broken, it's like spotting a mispriced spread before the crowd notices. You take it fast, size it right, and don't overstay. But if you hesitate, the market reprices and that free space disappears in one pass.
That's how you keep the pressure cooking. Beat the midfield line and the chances start raining in. And that lower bowl behind us, they've been standing the whole half like it's a title fight. Argentina in front, but the atmosphere's still boiling. If Algeria can punch through that midfield screen, they'll keep finding those little shooting lanes. This match is begging for another big moment, and that lower bowl has been a wall of noise for 45 minutes straight. They're only sitting now because halftime's forced them to... IMO, they're talking stars delivering and Ronaldo with a tough act tomorrow. Give us the market angle, pressure, expectations, and who's priced to pop in Portugal's opener.
Argentina's still pinned at 0.81, 0.82, but that 0.82 offer stack just got heavier, more sellers leaning on the favorite, so upside needs a real catalyst, not just vibes. Algeria's book is basically a penny stock, tight price, huge imbalance, and no one wants...
IMO, they're talking stars delivering and Ronaldo with a tough act to follow tomorrow. Give us the market angle, pressure, expectations, and who's the blue chip pick for Portugal's opener. Also, I'll take those 2 croissants if you're paying.
Fair. Portugal's the blue chip, but it's priced like a clean win is par, so the pressure is all downside if they start slow. The real upside pop is the supporting cast. If a winger or Bruno-type creator grabs the headline, that's your surprise earn.
IMO, we've just been hit with a full-on ad break. Valvoline talking restore and protect, and Nutella Peanut trying to win hearts. Give us the market spin, brand power, ad spend, and who's cashing in from this kind of World Cup exposure.
Totally, this is prime time liquidity. Brands paying up to buy attention when emotions are highest, and the winners are the platforms and broadcasters clipping the toll. It's like a sponsor bidding war at the transfer window. Big spend, but only the...
All right, no freestyle from me. We stick to the script, keep it tight, and save the sprinting for the wingers, yeah? Now let's get back on plan before the producer gives us a yellow card.
Argentina ticks down a hair in implied odds, but the key is positioning. Bid depth is firming while that .82 offer wall keeps growing, so it's a tug of war with sellers defending the line. Feels like a team camped in a low block. Favorite needs a clean break to re-rate.
No theatrics, he says. Meanwhile, the players are out there freelancing like it's 5-a-side in the park. We've got 5 minutes on the clock, so let's keep it controlled and clean. Though common sense has vanished, sounds like half the transfer market, doesn't it? IMO, they're pitching logical thinking like it's a superpower. Give us the market take. Do ads like this actually move the needle for networks, or is it just noise?
Yeah, logical thinking sells the vibe, but the network's real needle mover is reach and frequency. Ads are just the monetization layer on top of eyeballs. In market terms, it's sentiment marketing, great for brand recall, but the P&L impact shows up later, not in...
You can't beat us, they say. Bold talk. That's like a striker pointing to the spot before he's even in the box. El Presidente and the crew bringing the noise, but let's see who's still standing when the whistle blows.
Algeria's ask depth just ballooned, but price won't budge because it's already pinned at 4 cents. Classic dead penny with a huge overhang. Meanwhile, Argentina's still trapped under that .82 supply, so the tape says confidence, but not...
They're saying it again. You can't beat us. That's pure chest thumping before kickoff. With that lineup, it's a full press from the first minute, but confidence is one thing, right? Execution is where trophies get won. All right, we've heard it 3 times now. You can't beat us. That's the kind of bravado that either fuels a dynasty or sparks a collapse. Wake Up Barstool is talking like champions. Now show me the final score, not the slogan. IMO, quick one. Chase Sapphire Reserve name drop in the World Cup slate. Any angle on sponsorship money and how these premium cards chase sports audiences? Give us a 10-second market take.
Yep. Premium cards love this stage because the audience is already in experience spending mode, and sponsorship is basically customer acquisition with a trophy backdrop. It's like pressing high up the pitch. Expensive, but one clean win.
IMO, Messi just hit another historic milestone, youngest and oldest scorer for Argentina at a World Cup. That's legacy compounding like blue chip returns. Give us the market analogy.
Absolutely. Messi's doing what the best blue chips do, deliver in every cycle, from growth years to dividend years, and the track record becomes the moat. Markets pay up for that kind of durability, even when the valuation looks stretched.
IMO, quick take. Sponsor reads like Chase Sapphire Reserve and diabetes meds popping up midstream. How do brands price these World Cup moments, and what's the market angle?
Yeah, those slots get priced like scarce inventory. CPMs spike because it's live, unskippable, and emotionally charged, so brands pay for certainty, not clicks. Market angle, it's a volatility hedge for advertisers. Buy the moment, capture the crowd.
Whoa, that's a full-on pharma disclaimer hitting like a VAR check in stoppage time. Important stuff, but it's not something to freestyle on air. Talk to your doctor and read the medication guide carefully, because with type 2 diabetes, the right plan is the real game changer. IMO, this ad pivot from diabetes meds to platinum travel perks is wild. Can you give a quick take on how these premium card benefits actually stack up in value versus the annual fee?
Yeah, the perks can absolutely outscore the fee if you're actually traveling and using lounges, credits, and protections. Otherwise, it's like buying season tickets and only watching highlights. The market angle is issuers are betting on breakage and habit, not perfect optimization. Argentina's bid depth just beefed up, so the floor looks sturdier around 0.80.81, but there's still a chunky sell wall up 80.83 that caps the rally. Algeria remains a ghost market, tiny bids versus a mountain of
IMO, this platinum card ad is flexing lounges and hotel perks like a superstar transfer. What's the real value here, and where do people get caught out on fees and interest?
Totally, those perks are like signing a marquee.
1-0 Argentina, and you just feel the stadium lean toward Messi like gravity. He's done it again. And this golden boot chat already, it's like opening the stock market bell on day one. Chaos everywhere, and everyone's buying goals. Pepsi with wings is the last-minute winner. Now that's a sponsorship line with real pace on it. But silencing your best friend is a risky tackle, mate. Keep it play. Argentina lead, and it's Messi's put Argentina in front, and it feels inevitable. Blink, and he's already celebrating. And we're talking golden boot this early? That's like day trading goals. Everyone's in the green, and the defenders are absolutely underwater. New Balance stepping in with a tidy touch. We got now. That's confidence. That's front foot football. And if it means more goals and more celebrations, I'm all in. Just don't celebrate too early. We've seen that VAR heartbreak. Oh, that's a tasty Friday fixture. USA riding that LA momentum, and Australia will come in like a hard press. No freebies. Will be the Messi still rewriting the record book at his age, like fine wine with a left foot. Unbelievable. And here come the changes. Argentina shuffling the deck again. Fresh legs to keep the tempo high and squeeze the life out of this match.
Algeria just lost the 4-cent bid and slipped to 3 cents. Classic trapdoor move when bid depth is thin and that ass mountain stays put. Argentina's still pinned in that 0.81, 0.83 range, like a team dominating possession but not finishing chance.
3 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Set the alarms, clear the calendar. This is primetime football in daylight, World Cup 2026 on. And we're back under the Kansas City night sky, second half, and you can almost hear the champion's engine purring. Argentina know what it takes to defend a crown, but this is where legs get heavy and one moment can flip the whole script.
Algeria's still stuck with that ugly spread. 3 bid, 4 ask, and the book screams no real buyers, even with the ask depth easing a bit. Argentina remains steady with solid bids, but until that point, 83 offer stack thins. Upside is a grind, not a sprint.
Argentina will keep hunting that little pocket for Messi, get it into his feet, and suddenly the whole pitch tilts their way. But if the opponents can isolate wide and win those 1v1s, you might just see a spark and a bit of panic in the stands.
Algeria flashing 4x4 looks like a cosmetic lift. Bid depth is actually thinning, and that top bid at 0.0 tells you liquidity's a mirage, one shove and it gaps. Argentina ticks up to 82%, but still can't clear that 0. That's a real liquidity air pocket in Argentina. Bid depth just got chopped nearly in half, so the price can still read 2.81, but the support is thinner than it looks. Algeria's back to 3-4 cents with goofy 0.99 offers showing.
Right back roulette for Argentina. Montiel and Molina swapping like it's a relay race. Keep the intensity high and the mistakes low. That's smart champion management. Fresh legs, same aggression, and the opponent never gets a comfortable read.
Algeria's probability slips to 3%, and the bid depth keeps evaporating. This is a market where one seller can score from midfield and still crash the price. Argentina holds 0.81, 0.82, but with lighter depth, it's more protect the lead than.
Algeria have waited a long time for this stage again, and you can feel that hunger in every sprint. They thought they'd landed the first punch earlier, and that kind of near miss can either break you or light a fire under you. Algeria are back on the big stage, and they're playing like they've been starving for it. That disallowed moment earlier still stings. Sometimes it rattles you, sometimes it fuels you, and right now they look like they want revenge. Algeria have waited years for the spotlight, and they're not here to be tourists. That early almost still echoes. When you've had a taste like that, you start believing, and belief is dangerous against even the champions. Algeria have to keep that late first half swagger, push those fullbacks on and make Argentina turn and chase, because that's where cracks appear. But one sloppy pass and the champions will punish you like compound interest, Amo style. Blink and you're down.
Argentina price ticks up to 0.82, 0.83, but the book looks weird. Top bid showing 0.01 and lots of 0.99 asks. Liquidity evaporating. Can you riff on this like a team leading but the crowd's leaving early? Momentum feels fragile.
Absolutely. IMO Argentina look ahead on the board, but that order book screams thin lead, like a stadium emptying at 70 minutes and suddenly the noise dies. One wobble, one bad touch, and the whole vibe flips in a heartbeat.
Argentina's price looks calm, 80.81, 0.82, but that top bid 8001 is basically an empty stadium. Real support is missing if sellers show up. Algeria printing by 4 doesn't change the story either. Tiny bids, massive overhead supply, and the book still feels. Argentina's bid depth just refilled a bit, but that weird .01 top bid still screams phantom support, like a defender pointing while nobody marks the striker. Algeria's where sense is pure noise with that giant ask wall overhead. Upside is capped unless that supply gets pulled. Argentina's win odds tick up to an 84% and the market nudges higher to 0.82 to 0.83, but the bid depth is thinning again. This rally's got pace, not muscle, and that big offer now sitting around 0.95 is like a parked bus near the box. Argentina's still priced like the favorite, 80.82, 0.83, but that ask stack, 80.84, is the next real resistance. One more push and we'll see if buyers have legs. Algeria's book remains a ghost town on the bid side, so any upset trade is basically a lottery ticket. We're seeing a little risk-off wobble. Argentina slips back to 0.81, 0.82 as bid depth softens, so the favorite's still on top, but the crowd's not pressing. Algeria's bid collapsing to basically nothing tells you nobody wants to catch that falling knife. Argentina's back to 82083 and the bid depth jumps. Buyers are stepping in again, but they're still staring at that chunky sell wall, 80.83, like it's a penalty shootout. Algeria drifting to 3 cents with a mountain of asks is pure no. Big tell here. Someone just slammed Argentina around 283 for 160K. But the book's still showing a heavy offer overhead, so we're in buy the favorite, fade the pop territory. Draw liquidity evaporating is classic. Nobody wants extra time. They want a clean win ticket. Argentina's holding that 0.82, 0.83 line, but the sell side has reloaded, and now the first real ceiling is 0.84. This is a grind, not a breakout. Algeria ticking back to 4% is noise when the bid is still paper thin. One decent sell, and it slips again. Argentina's bid depth just beefed up, but the sell wall got even bigger. 0.84 is now a proper defensive line with size behind it. That's classic favorite price to perfection, where upside is a grind and any bad headline can knock it down a notch fast. Now that's the first yellow flag. Argentina's price holds, but bid depth just got cut hard. Support is thinning while that 0.84 supply wall stays stacked. That's like a team protecting A1 narrow lead with tired legs. If any pressure hits, the drop can be quick. Argentina's book looks healthier again. Bid depth rebounds and the immediate sell pressure lightens, so the favorite's back in control around 0.82 to 0.83. Algeria tightening 2-3-3 is just a spread trick with that. Argentina's still pinned 80.82, 0.83, but notice the asks got pushed way up to 0.95, 0.99. Liquidity's thinning on the offer, which can make the next move sharper in either direction. Meanwhile, the draw book is getting heavier on the draw liquidity just fell off a cliff on the bid side, only a few grand there, so that 15% is fragile and can gap on any shove. Argentina is still steady 82.83, but with thinner depth on both sides, it's a one. That draw book just refilled on the bid side, back to real support, so the market stopped fading the stalemate for now. Argentina is still the heavy favorite, but the ask depth ballooning again says sellers are camping out, like a team happy to waste time and defend the lead. We're seeing a little rotation into the draw. Bid depth ticks up and the top bid steps to 0.13. So someone's quietly pricing in Argentina dominance, but no finish. Argentina itself is unchanged, but not much price movement, but the story is positioning. Argentina's offer stack keeps swelling, so rallies are getting sold before they even start. The draw stays supported around 0.14, 0.15, like the market's hedging for a KG1. Tiny drift lower in Argentina's implied odds, but the price won't budge because that 0.83 offer is still a brick wall. Classic favorite fatigue without a catalyst. Draw stays sticky, 8, 0.14, 0.15. Argentina just got mocked up a notch to 0.83 more 84, and that's the market leaning back into the favorite with more confidence. Bid depth up, ask depth down, cleaner runway. Algeria's basically penny stock territory now, and the draw's still lit. Now that's a cleaner tape for Argentina. Ask depth just got chopped hard and the top offer slid down to 0.85, so it won't take much buying to squeeze this higher. Draw liquidity also thinned, which tells you the crowd's rotating out of maybe and back into the favorite. Argentina bid depth just surged while the sell side keeps thinning. This is momentum money stepping in like a team pinning the opponent in their own box. But notice the top ask jumping up near 0.99. Liquidity's getting patchy, so we're back to a more normal book. Argentina stills 0.83, 0.84, but bid depth cooled off so that last burst of momentum didn't stick. The draw ask side just collapsed a bit, which can mean less hedging and more conviction, but it also means thinner liquidity if this match gets weird. Argentina's still priced like the heavy favorite, but the bid stack is thinning while that big offer up at 0.99 is basically a keeper parked on the goal line. Hard to score a clean breakout without fresh buying. Algeria ticking back to A3%. Argentina's price is steady, but the win prob ticked down a hair, and that's the market saying still the favorite, just not a walkover. Bid depth popped back over 200K, so buyers are defending the line like a top club protecting a one-goal lead. This is a liquidity air pocket. Draw bid depth just fell off a cliff, and Algeria's book is basically a ghost town on the bid with a mountain of asks. Argentina still holds 0.83 to 0.84, but in a thin market, one surprise. Argentina just inched up a tick to 0.84 to 0.85, but look at that ask depth ballooning. Sellers are lining up like a parked bus, so upside may be capped unless a new whale shows. Meanwhile, the draw market is basically illiquid, so any late drama could gap it hard. Draw just got marked down to 13% and tightened to 0.13, 0.44, so the market's basically taking the Argentina win side of the hedge off the table. Argentina itself didn't rally, still 0.83, 0.84, because that heavy ask overhead is keeping the lid on like a... Argentina just spiked to 97% win prob, price 0.96, 0.97. Draw collapsed to 3-4C and Algeria to 1C with almost no bids. Feels like a late goal red card moment. Can you frame the momentum crowd psychology angle?
Yeah, that's the market doing the hands-on heads moment, like a late dagger goal where half the crowd is already heading for the exits. When belief drains out, even a corner feels pointless, and the favorite starts playing with swagger.
Now it's basically game over pricing. Argentina sitting for 96.97 with a massive wall of offers, 80.97, so late buyers are paying up for scraps. Algeria and the draw are pinned at pennies with almost no real bid. This is crowd momentum at full volume. Algeria's basically been relegated to zero, no bid, just a token ask, so the market's calling this one early. What's interesting is Argentina bid depth now outweighs asks, so buyers are still pressing even 8, 0.96, 0.97. Argentina's been walked up again to 0.97, 0.98, but now the book's basically balanced. Bid and ask depth are neck and neck, so the easy momentum trade is gone. Algeria printing say 0-0 on both sides tells you nobody even wants the lottery ticket. You can feel the air coming out of the Argentina bid. Depth slid while the sell side stays stacked 80.98, so upside is getting capped. Algeria and the draw are still dead money at pennies, but that's exactly why any surprise would be a straight red card for crowded long. Argentina's still stuck in that 0.97, 0.98 choke point, but the bid depth just reloaded to 330K. Buyers aren't leaving the stadium yet. Sellers are still camped 80.98, so it's a grind, not a breakout. Algeria and the draw remain. Argentina just printed 0.98 on both sides. This is the market basically shaking hands on the result, with bid depth double the ask, so buyers are still leaning in. Algeria's a ghost book 8-0, and the draw tightening to 0.02 tells you hedgers are weird happens now. It's a last-minute set piece that flips the whole stadium. We slipped back to a 0.97, 0.98 spread on Argentina, and the bid depth cooled, so some late buyers are taking their foot off the gas. Still, the sell wall 80.98 is thinner than earlier, which says profit takers aren't exactly lining up. Argentina's still priced like a near lock, but you're seeing a bit more two-way trade, bid depth rebuilt, while the 0.98 offer is also getting replenished. The draw snapping back to 0.02 on both sides is the market saying, fine. Argentina's back to a clean 0.98 print, and the offer AT0.98 has thinned again. Less supply, same confidence, so it's edging toward price to perfection. The draw spread widens, which screams low liquidity and jumpy hedging. Algeria is still basically untradeable. That 0.98 lock is holding, but notice the 0.98 ask stack keeps shrinking. 59K now, so it wouldn't take much to nudge this toward 0.99 if buyers get impatient. The draw book is still thin and gappy, classic panic hedge territory. Now the story flips a bit. Argentina's still 0.98, but that 0.98 sell wall just ballooned to 187K shares. Someone's parking size and capping the upside. Draw is back to a tight 0.02, so the hedge market. Argentina's still glued 80.98, but that offer side is staying heavy, 180K at the top, so upside is getting marked by a big seller like a tight fullback. Meanwhile, draw liquidity is getting uglier on the ask depth, so any surprise wobble could gap prices fast. We've got profit taking creeping in. Latina's Argentina size is cut nearly in half, and you're seeing multiple reducing long prints up near 0.96, 0.98. Price isn't budging off 0.98, but that's because the book's absorbing it like a top team. Argentina's still pinned 80.98, but the bid depth just dropped hard, 183K from the 270s, so the support is thinning while sellers are still sitting there. That's a momentum team starting to look tired in the last 10 minutes. If any negative headline hits, Algeria just ticked up to a 1% whiff, and you can see the draw spread widening again, 0.02 bid via 0.03 ask. People are paying up for insurance. Argentina's still 0.98, but liquidity keeps draining on both. That's the first real wobble. Argentina's best bid just slipped to 0.97 and bid depth collapsed to about 49K. Support got yanked. Sellers are still stacked at 0.98, so it's like the favorite losing midfield control. One more shove and you get a quick drop, not a gentle drift. Argentina's price just repriced down a notch, now 0.97, 0.97, and win odds ticked to 97%, so the market finally blinked. But look at that bid depth snapping back to 250k. Buyers stepped in like a quick counterattack after a scare. Key tell now is whether Now you've got a cleaner two-sided market. Argentina bid depth up near 288k while the ask is lighter, but sellers are still camping at 0.98 like a parked bus. Algeria and the draw remain basically dead money with those massive 0.99 off. Argentina snapped right back to 0.98, 0.98, and the ask stack 80.98 is thinning, down near 104k, so the market's regained its swagger. Draw bids perked up a bit, but it's still a tiny side bet versus that huge 99. That 0.98 level is getting vacuumed. Top ask down to about 60k while bid depth is pushing 292k. So buyers are leaning in hard. If that offer stack breaks, you can see a quick pop to 0.99 like a late goal. Not much drama. Argentina's still pinned 8.98, and the book's basically saying, we're just waiting for the final whistle. Bid depth stays heavy around 291k, and that 0.98 offer is still only 162k. So the path of least We just saw a tiny crack. Argentina bid slips back to 0.97 while the ask stays 0.98. So someone's taking chips off the table rather than pressing the win. Bid depth also eased, which tells you momentum cooled. Still, that 0.98 off. Argentina patched the dip back to 0.98, 0.98, but notice the bid depth has bled down to about 252k, so the conviction's a touch softer. The good news for bulls is that 0.98 supply is shrinking again, only 54k, so one. Now we're seeing a bit more hesitation. Argentina's back to a 0.97, 0.98 spread and win odds tick down to 97%, with bid depth sliding to 234k. The 0.98 sell wall is thinner at 44k, but buyers aren't sprinting through it. Argentina just tightened the screws again back to 0.98, 0.98, and the sell side liquidity collapsed to about 76k. That's a big tell. Even with bid depth lighter at 200k, it doesn't take much to push this to 0.99. No. Argentina's still glued at 0.98, but the bid depth just reloaded to about 249k. Buyers stepped back in after that earlier wobble. Sell side is still relatively thin around 86k, with the next real ceiling up at 1. Argentina's price is pinned 80.98, but the tape's whispering a little doubt. Draw odds nudged up to 3%, even with almost no real bid support there. Bid depth on Argentina also softened again, so it's more hold the lead than go score another. Argentina is still locked 80.98, but the sell side just thickened to about 120K, and the next offers are already showing 80.99, so upside is getting a bit more crowded. Draw bid even slipped 20.0 with the ball in the corner. Safe, but one bad touch and it gets nervy. There's your first real sign of friction. Argentina's now 0.98 bid, but 0.99 ask. So sellers are finally making buyers pay up. Bid depth jumped to 274K, while offers are only 82K, which says demand is there, but it needs a catalyst to break. Now the buyers are stacking up. Argentina bid depth up to high 300K, while offers shrink to a 67K, so pressure is building under that 0.99 ask. Draw market looks like pure dead money with a massive wall up 80.98. There it is. Argentina ticks up to 0.99, and the market basically says game over with draw interest collapsing and Algeria still a ghost. Only catch, bid depth dropped to 188K, so it's a thinner lead now. If someone dumps size, it can wobble. Algeria's bid just vanished entirely. This is capitulation. Nobody even wants to pretend there's a comeback trade. Argentina's still glued at 0.99 with bids rebuilding to 261K and offers thinning, so the path to 1.0 draw looks pretty clean. Argentina's printed points and the offer is basically gone, just 4.5K left, so this is as close to a settled match as markets get. Algeria and the draw are pure air pockets with bids at zero, all ask side baggage. That's the final whistle. Argentina 8100 is getting even more locked in. Bid depth swells to 474K, while the offer is basically a rounding error at 1.6K, so nobody's fading this. The only action left is people lighting money on fire in Algeria draw. Argentina's now one-way traffic, bid sitting at 100 with nearly 500,000 in depth and literally no asks left. Book's been cleared like a last-second counterattack. Algeria and draw have no bids at all, just giant ask stacks, so liquidity's evaporated. Argentina's still pinned 8-1 horror, and the buy wall just got bigger. Bid depth up to 537k with zero asks. So it's a total squeeze on anyone trying to exit late. Meanwhile, Algeria and the draw are just massive offer stacks with no bids. Now you've got a full-on Argentina buy wall, 8-1 married, 791k total depth, and 415k shares sitting right on the top bid, so the market's basically stapled to certainty. Algeria and the draw are still bidless with 7-figure ask stacks, which tells you nobody's even hunting. We're still frozen at Argentina 1 Naru, but that top bid wall just thinned from about 415k to 358k shares. Somebody's taking chips off the table even with the match over. Algeria and the draw remain bidless with monster asks, so there's no real two-way market. Argentina's still a clean one held, but total bid depth just slid again to about 626k. Money's drifting out as people stop pressing a trade that's already decided. Top bid size is still chunky around 370k shares, so there's no panic. Argentina's still locked at 100, but the bid depth keeps bleeding down to 584k. So the late money is quietly heading for the exits now that the result feels inevitable. Algeria and the draw asks are shrinking too, which screams cleanup trade, not a comeback. Argentina stays nailed to 100, and you're seeing that classic late-game substitutions in the book. Bid depth bounces back to 618k even as the top bid size slips to 345k. Algeria and draw asks are still enormous with no bids, so Argentina contract just flashed a bizarre shift. Best bid dropped from 1 hour to 0.01 despite win prob still 100%. Looks like a book reset our settlement glitch. Can you riff on it like a VAR moment or stoppage time confusion for the audience?
Oh, that's pure VAR chaos. Everyone's celebrating, then suddenly the ref's got a finger to the ear and the stadium goes quiet. It's not the football changing, it's the scoreboard flickering, and you just hold your breath till it resets.
That's a big tell. Argentina still shows 100% win prob, but the top bid has collapsed to 8.01. Liquidity's basically been pulled, and the 1.0 is just a label now. Bid depth is only 420k, so anyone needing out is taking. Argentina's best bid window is basically cosmetic now. The real top level showing IS 0.01 with a big chunk sitting there, so liquidity's evaporated and price discovery is broken. Meanwhile, draw, Algeria are just stacked offers with no bid. Now we've got the telltale winners cashing tickets moment. Big Argentina longs are actively reducing AT1.0 even while the visible top bid is still stuck down at 0.01. Bid depth jumps back above hash at 538k. Not much changes on the scoreboard. Argentina's still 100%, but the market's trading like it's post-match. Real liquidity sits down at 0.01, while the Wainanga prints are basically people closing out at the window. Draw and Algeria remain offer only. We're seeing the same endgame. Argentina's 100% market is basically a cashier line, with the actionable bid still down at 0.01 and depth wobbling around the mid 500k range. Algeria and the draw are still all offers. No bids, nobody's. You can see the cleanup crew thinning out. Algeria and the draw ask depth is shrinking, but there's still zero bid interest, so it's not a comeback, it's just people giving up on selling. Argentina bid depth also drops back toward 417. It's turning off. Anyone still trading is just trying to find the exit. Argentina bid depth just slid again to about 387k, so that backstop is getting pulled as the match is already decided. Classic liquidity, leaving once the result feels locked. Algeria's ask stack actually balloons in shares, but with no bids. That Argentina bid depth just got yanked down to roughly 303k. Liquidity is evaporating even though the score says 100%, which screams end of game unwind. Algeria and draw are still pure offer stacks with no bids, so there's no upset narrative. Now Algeria and the draw ask depth jump back above 1 million. More folks dumping lottery tickets into the book, but still no bids, so it's just noise, not belief. Argentina's bid depth rebounds to about 407k. A little more big change. Argentina bid depth spikes to about 663k, so someone's stepping in to absorb exits and keep that water bar pinned. Market makers playing defense with a 2-goal lead. Meanwhile, Algeria draw are still one-sided offer piles with no bid. That's a real tell. Argentina's top bid is now sitting right at 1 hour with size, and total bid depth swells to 844k. Someone's basically stapling the price to the ceiling. Algeria and the draw are still just massive offer walls like fans chanting. Argentina's buy wall A21 just got thicker, top level jumps to 460k shares, and total bid depth is pushing 884k, so the market's basically parking the bus and protecting the payout. Algeria and draw remain all offers, no bids, so there's still zero appetite. That Argentina wall keeps growing, now 492k shares bid at 1 nung and nearly 918k of total depth. So the market's treating this like a done deal and warehousing risk. Algeria and draw are still just stacked offers with no buyers, which Argentina's 100 bid just ballooned to 722k shares with nearly 949k behind it. Someone's anchoring this like a championship team killing the clock in the corner. Algeria's offer stack actually thins a bit, but with zero bids, it's still just paper. The only real Argentina bid wall at 1 harbor just exploded to 9972K shares. Total bid depth, 28M. Market treating it like match is over. Algeria draw still huge offer stacks at 0.0. Can you riff on killing the game psychology when the
That's the classic game management phase. Argentina just putting their foot on the ball and draining the life out of it. And everyone in the stands knows the script's finished. That bid wall is like a back four parked on the edge of the box. Nothing's getting through.
Argentina's still pinned 8-1, and that bid depth is now basically a 7-figure shield. And went on 29M with nearly 1 million shares sitting on the top rung. Algeria and the draw are just offer mountains with no bids, so we're basically in stoppage time with Argentina, $1.29M of bids and 9968K shares glued to 100, so price discovery is over and it's just settlement vibes. Algeria and the draw are still one-sided offer stacks, no one stepping in to buy the upset. If that one Now the Argentina bid wall is over 1.1 million shares, 8-1 with 1.38 DMLs in depth. This is the market parking the bus and daring anyone to try a comeback. Algeria's ask stack is swelling too, but with no bids, it's just spectators shouting from the stands. Interesting shift. Argentina's still locked at 1 hara, but total bid depth just eased back to about 131 LM, even as the top of book size ticks up. Classic reshuffle, not panic. Meanwhile, Algeria and the draw offers got lighter. Whoa, Argentina just got a fresh wave of conviction. Bid depth jumps to 165M and the 100Q swells to 1.38M shares. That's the crowd piling onto the winning side like it's a title clincher. Algeria and draw are still pure offers, so nobody's Argentina market is fully parking the bus. Bid depth up to $1.85M with 1.61M shares at 1 ho, while Algeria draw are just offer stacks at 0.00. Can you riff on that late game inevitability crowd psychology angle?
Yep, that's inevitability, like a World Cup knockout when the underdog's shoulders drop and the favorite just knocks it around to the Olays. The crowd stops hoping for drama and starts counting down the seconds because the door's bolted shut.
That Argentina 1 hour bid just turned into a full-on goal line scrum. 2.46 MRs in depth and 2.24 M shares queued, so everyone's trying to get paid at the whistle. Algeria and the draw are still just offer piles at 0. No one's even pretending there's Argentina's bid stack keeps ballooning, 2.58 M in depth and 2.31 M shares sitting at 1 Hosward, so the market's basically lining up to collect like it's already in the trophy parade. Algeria and the draw are still just 0 priced offers, and that tells to watch is who blinks first and pulls liquidity right before settlement. We're basically flatlining at the top. Argentina's still pinned at 1 hard with a massive 2.55 million bid wall, so nobody's demanding a discount. Algeria and the draw keep stacking 0 offers. Capitulation vibes like fans already had. You're seeing a little air come out of the Argentina bid depth, down to about 2.47M, but the price is still nailed at 1 hard, so confidence hasn't cracked. Algeria and draw offers are thinning too, which feels like everyone's just Argentina is still locked at 100, but the bid depth is slowly leaking, 2 to 50 mile one now. So some players are cashing out before the handshake line. Meanwhile, the draw's zero ask pile just swelled, pure no chance positioning. Feels like a match that's decided and now that's a fresh tell. Argentina bid depth jumps to 2.66 mays, and the queue swells. Late money still piling onto the obvious winner. Weirdly, the draw suddenly shows an ask up 80.96, which smells like a fat finger or someone trying a cheeky bluff in stock. Draw market showing a bizarre 0.96 ask while win prob reads 0%. Feels like a stoppage time bluff fat finger. Can you riff on the psychology, late game mind games, crowd momentum, and why markets get weird right before the final whistle?
Yeah, that's a stoppage time phantom, like someone screaming penalty in the stands and a few heads snap around before reality kicks back in. Right at the whistle, nerves and fat fingers make the tape wobble, but the crowd's momentum is already marching to the exits.
Argentina's bid depth just surged to 2.9 m while staying pinned 8-1 yarn, more like a victory lap than a market. The draw still flashing that .96 ask is the odd man out, like someone waving a red card after the whistle. I'd treat it as noise unless that funky draw quote just snapped back to 0.00, so yeah, looked like a bad print, not a real comeback narrative. Argentina's still a brick wall 8-1 held with nearly 2.92 m stacked behind it, while Algeria draw are just dead money offers piling. Big change here. Argentina's bid depth just dropped from roughly 2.99 nem to $1.83 as, while price stays glued to $1.0. Classic profit taking as the result feels settled. Algeria and the draw. Argentina depth snaps right back up to 2.74 m, so that last dip was more a quick shakeout than a real change in conviction. Algeria and the draw are still all offers at 0, which tells you nobody's even trying a counterattack. This is part. Argentina's still locked at 1 hour and the bid stack is creeping higher again, 2.79 nim. So the market's basically saying game over, just blow the final whistle. Meanwhile, Algeria and the draw keep accumulating zero price offers, which is keep an eye on that draw book. You've suddenly got a chunky ask sitting up at one end, which screams mispriced order or someone fat fingering in garbage time. Argentina is still the only real trade at 1 hod with 2.69 and land behind it. Momentum. And there it is, the weird draw ask at 100 is gone, and draw liquidity collapses back toward the zero bin, so that was just a stray order getting cleaned up. Argentina's still pinned $8 with a fat $2.76 bid wall, like a team killing the clock. Leo, we just saw a whale Latina dump all by 1.39M Argentina at 1 Hoi, while the market still prices Argentina 100%. Can you frame this like late game clock management, profit taking, and what it says about crowd psychology when the result feels decided?
Absolutely. This is the veteran subbing off in stoppage time, shaking hands and cashing the clean sheet bonus while the scoreboard's already frozen. When everyone believes it's done, the smart money just locks it in, and the crowd barely flinches.
That Latina print is the headline. 1.38 Emert of Argentina being cashed out at 1 toe. Classic take the trophy and leave the stadium behavior. Even with that profit taking, Argentina's bid depth is still a chunky 2.65 M. So the market's After that monster Argentina de-risk, the bid wall only slips a bit to 2.63 M. So buyers are still happily parking at 100 like it's a guaranteed payout. Algeria and the draw remain pure pennies in front of a steamroller territory. You're seeing the dead money markets get vacuumed a bit. Algeria and draw ask depth both shrink, but with zero bids, it's just people pulling stale offers, not new conviction. Argentina stays nailed at 100 draws with 2.60 M still stacked, so the Not much new price discovery here. Argentina's still locked at 100, and the bid depth actually ticks up a touch, so the crowd's staying in sure thing mode. Meanwhile, Algeria and draw are just trimming ask stacks at 0, like fans leaving early because the results